Okay, so this...
Wait until I sit down.
Oh, sorry. I just got excited. I'm sorry. I'm stoked about Paul Tremblay.
Hey, it's Sue.
And Megan,
The Spine Breakers. And today we are bringing you a book haul, which we only do like twice a year when we go to the library sale.
Yeah. Super stoked. But yeah, we went to the library sale and we bought us a bunch of books.
We did.
And I think I spent like $19.50.
I spent, I think, $21.
So we had a good haul.
And that was on like the normal day. Usually we go on the last day, which is Dollar Bag Day, where you can get like a whole bag of books for $1, but we decided to go on like the normal day so we could maybe score some
good finds.
Some good ones. You be the judge. If you think we scored some good ones.
Yeah, let us know if you've read any of the books we're going to talk about.
Yeah. And while we show you our books, we're going to drink American Brown Ale from Civil Life Brewing, which is in somewhere, St. Louis.
St. Louis.
And it says like, be civil, drink civil.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. The man on the can has a very dapper hat.
Yeah. He kind of looks like our local...
Brown Derby guy.
Yeah, our local liquor store chain, Brown Derby. Or kind of like the Monopoly Man.
Oh, yeah. Same.
All right. Here it is. A nice brown ale. Looks like a brown ale.
Looks brown.
Smells like a brown ale.
Tastes like a brown ale. Ooh.
Sure does.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I like it.
It's kind of nutty, like rich and nutty.
Yeah, I didn't used to care for brown ales, but I feel like they've grown on me or something.
It seems like you've been liking them more lately, because I know you didn't used to care for them very much.
But I like that. Malty, nutty.
That's tasty.
Nice.
I dig that.
It says it's civil to recycle. All right. I don't know which one of us has more books. We might have roughly the same.
I have 12.
I have 16.
Wee! Okay.
I'll go first.
Y'all go first.
So the first one I have is Giovannis Room by James Baldwin. And he's obviously a very well-known literary figure. But I don't think I've ever read anything by him. I have Go Tell It on the Mountain. I've had that forever and I need to read it. But I know everyone says great things about Giovanni's Room, so I saw it and I thought I'd pick it up.
Snatch it up.
But I think this is about a man who is, I think it's kind of like a gay story. I don't know if it's a love story, but I know it was like kind of, for the time. Scandalous. And James Baldwin was bisexual, I think, or maybe gay.
He was bisexual.
I think he was bisexual. So I don't really know much about it other than that, to be honest. And there's not really a description on it. It just has blurbs on the back. But I really need to read some James Baldwin.
I purchased The Passage by Justin Cronin. The dust jacket of this is really neat.
Holographic.
I've seen this before and I've kind of been drawn to it. I believe it's about like a security breach at like a military base, and I think ends up being some otherworldly thing or aliens or something. But I don't know exactly what this is about, but I have seen it before and I've been tempted to buy it before, but I haven't because it's very long. This one has water damage, so it's probably not quite as thick as it seems like, but
Chunky.
It's chunky. It's like 700 and some odd pages. I'm gonna give it a go eventually. Eventually.
So the next one I have is one that I've actually already read. I listened to the audiobook, so I didn't have a physical copy, but it's Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. And this is set in Africa. I don't remember where exactly in Africa. It's about a girl there's these two tribes that are at war, and this girl is a daughter of a man from one of the tribes and a woman from one of the others, and she was a product of rape. And so she has powers, and she's very strong. So she's kind of an outcast. but I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, it's hard to describe it, but she basically has these powers that she wants to explore and develop, but it's difficult for her to be able to do that. So
yeah, so I really liked the audiobook, so I thought I'd like to have a physical copy. I need to continue the series because there's one other like prequel. Is it a prequel? I don't remember.
I think it is a prequel. It's really fucking good, and I own it if you want to borrow it. It's very, very delightful. I purchased Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. I've not read anything by Neil Stephenson, I don't think. I don't know what this is about. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I told you to buy it, which I haven't read it either, but it's sci-fi, and I believe it was Aaron from the Book Brood who really likes Neil Stephenson and said that Snow Crash was a good place to start with him. So I also have Snow Crash and I need to read it.
I'm gonna check it out.
But it's kind of like cyberpunk type of sci-fi.
I got you. Okay. That'll be interesting. I sent my brother a picture of the cover of it and he goes, fucking nerd.
All right, the next one I have is To Say Nothing of the Dog by Connie Willis. This is the second book in I think it's called the Oxford Time Travel series. I read Doomsday Book last year and I really enjoyed it. But the series is kind of centers around Oxford University set in the future, and they have like a time travel program. I think it's part of their history department, if I remember correctly. So they will actually travel back to periods in history and learn about them by actually experiencing them. And in this one, and I think they can mostly all be read as standalones. There's like a duology within the series. I've
read Blackout.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, part of that series, but it was. I didn't feel like I was missing anything.
So in this one, it's about a man who travels to the 40s, I think. So it's during World War II, or maybe right before World War II. It has to do with like Nazis and stuff. But I think this one, from what I understand, is like kind of more of a love story and is kind of like a comedy.
Oh, interesting.
Well, maybe not comedy, but just like, you know, more of a happy story, I guess.
Okay.
From what I understand.
All right. So I also purchased Pier by Juliana Baggett. This is it's post-apocalyptic, which is why I bought it. And a lot of people are permanently disfigured due to said apocalypse. And so now everyone is required to turn themselves over to the militia to either be a soldier or to be used as live targets. But there are those people who escaped the apocalypse unmarked. They're called Piers, and they are hidden inside the dome. So, you know, I'll read anything that's post-apocalyptic. Right. So I read enough of this dust jacket to be like, well, sounds good.
Yeah. The next one I got is Galilee by Clive Barker. I just read The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, and I really liked his writing. So I thought I'd check out something else by him. And this one seems like it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet, but, you know, sexier and scarier.
Woo! All right.
So, yeah, it's like these two families who are kind of at war with each other. And then it says Galilee, prodigal prince of the Barbarossa clan, meets Rachel, young bride of the Geary clan. And then they fall in love. And they are consumed by a passion that unleashes long simmering hatreds.
Oh shit.
So
I hate it when that happens. Next I purchased The Five by Robert McCammon. This is about a band, and I also believe it's about, I don't know this, but I do believe it is maybe about zombies. I'm not sure. This band is on tour, and then shit happens. That's all I know.
And I'm pretty certain he wrote the fun horror erotica story we read for After Dark about the man with the uncontrollable dick.
Which, if that's any indication, I'm going to enjoy this very much. It probably won't be good, but it will be fun.
The next one I have is Plague from Space. I need you to really look at this cover. And this is I mean, I feel like it doesn't really need much more explanation. It says,
Plague from space.
the space probe returned to Earth carrying a cargo of writhing death.
Writhing death. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's fuck
It
around and find
says
out.
the science fiction shock novel of the year. Can't wait.
I also came across a copy of the Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. This movie, the original movie, I watched when I was relatively young. Like, I think I was maybe a preteen, I think, when I watched it. It scared the hell out of me.
I watched that. That was, I never saw the end of it because Whitney made me turn it off. But me and Whitney watched that when we were like 11.
Really?
Yeah.
It scared the hell out of me when I was a kid,
I
and
know.
I've never watched it again. I've never read the book, so
Really?
I'd like to see.
Whitney got scared and made me turn it off, but it at that point had not really frightened me, but I am not easily frightened by movies.
Oh man, I'm haunted houses sometimes, depends on why the house is haunted. But sometimes haunted houses freak me out, and I think there was a scene, now granted, like I said, I think I was like 12 when I watched it. I do believe there's a scene when the walls start bleeding in Amityville Horror. That fucking wigged me out, man. Like, I did not care for that. So I would like to watch it again now that I'm an adult, and I would also like to read the book just to...
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen the entire original. I did watch the remake with Ryan Reynolds
I've never seen that.
from like, early 2000s? I don't remember. I've seen all of that one, but I still have never seen the original in its entirety.
Pizza movie night. Pizza beer movie. Let's do it.
The next book I got is one that I actually found out I already owned.
Whoops.
And I wasn't sure if I did when I bought it, because I remember I was like, I might already have this. And I was like, fuck it, I'll get it anyway. But it's The Stranger by Albert Camus. And
Is that how you say his name?
it's Camus, I'm pretty sure.
Thank you for telling me
Someone
that,
correct me
because-
if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's
No,
Camus.
I'm not disputing you. I'm just feeling stupid because I've always said
It's probably like Albert Camus. He's French.
Did not know that either. So thank you.
Well, it says translated from the French.
From French. Murphy.
You're interrupting me?
That's rude.
Very rude.
Super rude. Wow.
Yeah, so this one was translated from the French by Stuart Gilbert. And I got home and realized I already had a copy, but I was like, initially was like, oh, I'll keep this one because I like the cover more. Then I was like, wait, they have different translators. The other one was translated by, I want to say Max Gladstone. I can't remember if that's his last name. And so I asked our resident books and translation expert, Michael from Knowledge Lost.
Thank you, Michael.
Which one he would recommend, and he said the other one. So I might get rid of this one, although I also thought it might be fun to read both and see.
You should. It's a short little book.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And see which one was, like how they were different.
I think that'd be a cool
That
experiment.
might be a cool experiment.
Yeah.
So I might
do
keep
that.
this one and do that, but this is like one of those classics that I honestly don't even really know what it's about.
I have no idea what it's about.
Let's,
I own the play.
Let's see. Okay, so it's about a man who's living quietly, and then he ends up committing a pointless murder. And then it says the novel reaches its climax after his trial. So, I don't know. Sounds interesting.
Sounds very interesting. So I also picked up Women of Wonder, which is science fiction stories by women about women, and it's edited by Pamela Sargent, and the cover's kind of cool and retro. It's like 70s or 80s probably. Oh, 74, yep. So I'm pretty stoked about this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I want to see who's in it. Marion Zimmer Bradley. I like her.
Joanna Russ is in there.
Ursula K. Le Guin.
Nice. But yeah, so it should be really cool. I like reading sci-fi by women, especially old sci-fi by women. So geeked about it.
All right. Next I have Midworld by Alan Dean Foster.
Look at
I
that
always
cover.
want to say Forrester and not Foster, and I don't know why. But yes, this has a pretty epic cover. But I honestly didn't even look at what this was about.
The cover's really cool.
Because, well, I got it because Todd the Librarian always talks about this. This is his favorite book.
Okay.
So I was like, I gotta check it
The
out.
librarian's cool, so the book is cool.
Yeah, but it's a sci-fi, I think, or is it like fantasy? I think it's a sci-fi. Like it's set on a different world, a brutally hot planet. It says.
Oh.
Okay, so this is about a person named Bourne who's like trying to survive on this planet. I think.
Interesting.
Basically.
I'm really excited about this next one because I think it's going to be very fun. I'm going to read it in December. It's called Hark, the Herald Angels Scream, and it is horror short stories that are Christmas themed. And I thought that this was going to be mostly garbage, but there's some well-known writers in here. Shauna McGuire is in here. Josh Mallerman is in here.
Oh.
So this might be really good garbage.
It might.
I'm really stoked about it. I love cheesy horror. I love cheesy sci-fi. I just like cheese, and this seems very cheesy to me.
You don't like actual cheese.
I don't like actual cheese. No, fuck that.
I think that's might be the only time you said you like cheese in your life.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, this will be super fun. I sent a picture of this cover to my brother, and I was like, check out this book I scored today. And he went, Jesus.
I never really looked at this cover closely, but I got Great Irish Tales of Horror, edited and introduced by Peter Heining, maybe. It says A Treasure of Fear, but look at that.
That dude is creepy as fuck.
on there. I don't think this will be cheesy because it has also very well-known authors in it, but like it has like Bram Stoker. Okay, maybe that's the only one I recognize. I could have sworn there was others I did. I don't know. I just thought, George Bernard Shaw. There's one. But I just thought that this might be interesting, and I kind of got it with my friend Amber from Amber Unabridged in mind, because I thought maybe I could pass it along to her if she doesn't already have it, because she
digs Irish literature.
Likes Irish literature.
Next, I got Lockin by John Scalzi. I read the Old Man's War series, or I don't think I've read all of it. I think I've read most of it. My partner's read all of it. I turned him onto it, and he was super into it. So this is about the near future. It's about a pandemic, and most people who get sick don't have anything worse than flu, fever, and headaches, but for 1% of people, the disease causes lock-in. So victims are fully awake and aware, but they can't move or respond to any stimulus. So I thought that sounded interesting. I like John Scalzi's writing. I really liked Old Man's War, so I thought this might be cool. And I also got it kind of with the fact that, my partner and I could both read it because he likes John Scalzi also. Next,
I got American War by Omar El Akkad, and this is a dystopian novel. I think it's like an environmental apocalypse, right?
Partially, yeah.
I don't really know anything else about it.
It's really good. It's about a family. I think they live in Mississippi or Louisiana, maybe somewhere down there, and most of it's like underwater and swampland. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's basically, the environment's fucked, and the U.S. went to war, and it fucked people over. But yeah, it's a really great dystopian novel. I liked it a lot. So.
American War. Oh, I almost dropped it.
I also picked up The Feed by Nick Clark Window. And this is about, I'm reading the back, The Feed, which is like a tech feed, obviously, like news, social media, etc. People can get addicted to it, but one of the main characters in the novel, I guess, has resisted the addiction to it, which makes him suspect in his family because his dad created The Feed. But the feed, I guess, collapses, and it leaves people scavenging to survive. So this sounds like a sci-fi, techie, apocalypse type deal. So I'm into it. Sounds kind of Black Mirror-ish.
The next one I picked up was Remarkable Creatures by Tracy Chevalier. This is about a girl who was struck by lightning as a baby, and that makes her kind of different. She ends up setting this community, like it's a religious community, and she kind of sets them on edge. There's a woman who is a spinster, and they form like an unlikely friendship, basically. But I wanted to read some more Tracy Chevalier. I love Girl with the Pearl Earring. I don't know what it is about that story that I really love, but I thought I'd give something else by her a go.
Sounds good to me. You know how I am about authors I like. The next book that I purchased was A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. I already read this, but I read it on my Kindle and I wanted to own it because I did really like it. So this book is about a girl who, when she was a kid, her family was the subject of a reality TV show because her sister was believed to be possessed. And so she's recounting the story as she can remember it, but she was a little girl at the time. So it's kind of like unreliable narrator. And then also it's one of those situations where it's like, is there something supernatural going on here? Or is this like manipulation by the film crew mixed with mental illness? Like, what is this? Mm-hmm. And this was just like a really great book. It was creepy. It was heartbreaking. I really loved this. So I wanted to own it, like the physical copy of it. But I'm definitely going to read some more Paul Tremblay because this was just really well done. So I dug it.
The next one I got was Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger. It's a, classic, modern classic. But I gotta be honest, I have no idea what it's about. And there's no description on it anywhere.
Figgity fuck.
But it has something to do with Franny and Zoe.
Is it a buddy cop novel about two cops named Franny and Zoe? Maybe.
It might be.
Is it like a best friends commit crimes together book? Maybe.
Could be.
Who knows? J.D. Salinger knows. We don't know. I also picked up Obscura by Joe Hart. This is a book about, it's in the near future, and there's a pandemic. It's a different form of dementia, but it affects victims of all ages. And so a doctor is trying to figure out the cure for it. She's already lost some family members. So her and a NASA team are going to travel to a space station where a crew has been stricken with the symptoms of this dementia. And she's supposed to try to figure this out. But she has some inner demons that she's fighting while she's trying to do it. So we'll see what happens.
The next one I have is Oryx Crake by Margaret Atwood, and this is the first book in the Mad Adam trilogy, which is a dystopian, I think.
Aye, see it is. It's kind of like post-apocalyptic. It's a little bit like environmental and a little bit like mankind fucked up and like played around and played God when they shouldn't have. And so now there's this man, and he may or may not be the only man left, like the only human left. There are other beings that exist, but they may or may not be strictly human, or human as we know human to be.
What's interesting is that until this moment, looking at this cover closely, I thought this was a lizard woman.
Oh, I mean, that'd be cool too. So the last book that I purchased was The Best Horror of the Year, Volume 9, which is just a collection of horror short stories. I think this is from 2016. I'm skimming the authors, and there's not a lot of folks that I'm familiar with, but obviously if they're in here, they are.
I've heard of Peter Straub.
I feel like I've heard of Brian Evanson.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But
I feel like he wrote a zombie book you didn't like.
Oh, you're probably right. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so just a collection of horror short stories. I like short story collections just because they give you an opportunity to sample either a lot of people's work or a lot of work by one person, so then you can kind of get a feel for what they're about and if you want to read more by them. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
All right, I got 4 more.
Here we go.
So I'll go through them quickly. I got Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak. I was pretty stoked because I also asked Michael about the translator of this one. This is translated from Russian by Max Hayward and Manya Harari. And he said that this was a good translation. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, this is a classic of Russian literature. And I remember watching there was like a mini series on PBS of this when I was a kid, and I like loved it.
Nice.
So that's mostly why I want to read it. Yeah, it's probably just a really depressing Russian novel.
Man, Russian literature is fucking weird. Now, granted, I've pretty much exclusively read Russian dystopian novels. Fucking bizarre, though. Just bananas.
I don't think this is going to be bizarre. This isn't dystopian. It's just...
I mean, they're also very
set
bleak.
post-Russian Revolution, I believe.
So probably it'll just be bleak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Russian literature, bleak and bizarre. In my experience. My humble experience.
The next book I have is an unattractive... The next book I have is An Unattractive Vampire by Jim McDaniel. McDaniel? I guess. But this is about like a 1,000-year-old vampire who awakens to a world of sparkly, hot teen vampires.
That honestly sounds hilarious.
And he is an ugly, like, Nosferatu
Nice.
vampire. So it just sounded silly and fun, so I got it. And the author also looks like a fun guy, so
Yeah.
hopefully he is. Next, I have Road Chronicles of Clatsand by Ursula K. Le Guin, and I think this is kind of like a collection of short stories, but all set in this same world. We'll see. I just, I like to pick up Ursula K. Le Guin when I see her a lot of the time. I haven't loved everything I've read by her, but I've liked most of it. And then the last one I have is The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. Classic horror about a girl that's possessed.
I have never seen that movie because for a part of my formative years, I was religious, and so I was very superstitious about that. So that's another one we should add to Pizza Beer Movie Night.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Wow. Party Patty probably would. Like, if we're being honest, like, Party Patty gets fucking down.
She'd be like Lil Nas X.
She would. She'd be like, let's do it. Party Patty has a good time. She don't fuck around. But yeah, my mom's really fun.
So that was our library sale haul.
Yeah, I feel like we got some good stuff. Like, I feel like we went early enough in the library sale that we still found some gems.
Yeah.
Is there one book that you're most excited about out of your haul?
I gotta be honest, I think it's Plague from Space.
Nice.
Like, I almost picked it up and read it
That cover
the other
is
day because
killer.
I was just like, it looks so fun.
It looks so fun.
What's not fun about a man covered in boils?
Can't beat it. I think I'm most excited about Hark the Herald Angels Scream. I'm so stoked to read this in December. One of my holiday traditions is that on Christmas Eve, my partner and I watch a cheesy horror film. So last year we watched Krampus. I think one year we watched Evil Dead. So it's just kind of a thing. So I'm excited to add this to my holiday traditions.
And this American brown ale was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was like a good, solid brown ale.
Very tasty. I liked it. So let us know if you've read any of the books that we picked up and what you thought of them. Let us know if we've got some wins or some stinkers. And I think that's it for us then.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.